Beneath South Africa's vast skies and among its rugged, ancient landscapes lies a world of untamed mystery. This is a land carved by time, where the wild conceals more than just predators and prey. Legends born from its untamed depths tell of creatures that defy understanding, beings woven into the land's fabric, both feared and revered. Among them stands the Grootslang, an ancient terror whose domain stretches beneath the Richtersveld's jagged terrain, guarding treasures and secrets lost to time. Journey with us into this realm of awe and danger, where myth and reality collide and the wilderness refuses to be tamed. In the rugged wilderness of South Africa's northern Cape, where the Orange River winds through ancient rock formations, tales persist of the Grootslang, our first South African cryptid. The name, meaning big snake in Afrikaans and Dutch, hints at its legendary nature. For centuries, it has guarded its domain, a vast treasure-filled cavern known as the Wonder Hole, deep within the Richtersveld. According to legend, the Grootslang is a primordial entity. In the dawn of creation, the gods forged a creature of unimaginable power, blending the traits of an elephant and a serpent. Tremendously strong, cunning, and intelligent, the Grootslang soon proved to be a mistake. Realizing their error, the gods sought to undo their creation by dividing it into elephants and snakes. But one Grootslang escaped, retreating into the earth, and from this first sire, all others were born. Legends recount how the Grootslang lures elephants to their doom in the Wonder Hole, also called the Bottomless Pit. The cavern, rumored to connect to the sea 40 miles away, is said to be filled with diamonds and treasures. Some versions claim the Grootslang also lives in warm rivers and lakes, while in Benin, it is described as an elephant-like creature with a serpent's tail. Occasionally, it is depicted as a snake with orange gems for eyes, emphasizing its greed for precious stones. Witnesses describe the Grootslang as a monstrous hybrid with the massive head of an elephant and the sinuous body of a serpent. Its black skin reflects the moonlight, while its eyes, some say actual diamonds, burn with otherworldly intelligence. Measuring between 40 and 50 feet, the Grootslang's immense size is matched only by its lethal abilities. It is said to have potent venom and tusks capable of shattering rock. The beast leaves behind tracks up to 3 feet wide. The Grootslang's power is surpassed only by its intellect. It is a calculating predator that toys with its victims. Legends recount how it hoards treasures, particularly diamonds, within its lair. Despite its lust for cruelty, victims can sometimes bargain for their freedom by offering gems. Such bargains, however, are rarely honored. The Wonder Hole is as mysterious as the creature itself. Located in the remote Richtersveld, this cavern is believed to connect to the Orange River and the sea. Its depths remain unexplored. Sulfurous fumes rise from its maw, and eerie screeches echo from within. The Wonder Hole is said to contain untold riches, diamonds and veins of gold. But these treasures come at a price, for none who venture too deep have returned. Over the years, there have been chilling accounts. In 1917, Englishman Peter Grayson led an ill-fated expedition into the Richtersveld, seeking the creature's treasure. After members of his party were attacked by lions, Grayson pressed on alone and vanished. Legends claim he fell victim to the Grootslang. Earlier reports tell of giant serpentine creatures in the Orange River. In 1867, Hans Sauer claimed to see a monstrous snake, while in 1899, G.A. Kinnear described a creature rising from the river near Uppington. One tale speaks of a prospector who dared to descend into the Wonder Hole. As he ventured deeper, he encountered noxious fumes and bat-like creatures. Startled, he abandoned his quest, escaping with his life. While skeptics dismiss the Grootslang as myth, some believe it is rooted in encounters with real animals. The southern African rock python may have inspired tales. Others point to ancient fossils such as the Titanoboa. Folklorists suggest that Afrikaner settlers, influenced by biblical stories and indigenous legends, wove these elements into the myth. The creature's connection to diamonds may reflect the region's history of gem mining. The Grootslang has also entered modern culture, appearing in the television show Secret Saturdays, and captivating new audiences through games and stories. Despite the skepticism, the Grootslang remains a powerful symbol in South African culture, serving as a cautionary tale and a testament to the untamed power of nature. It reminds us of the delicate balance between humanity and the wild. In the remote corners of South Africa's rich tapestry of folklore, where tales of the supernatural thrive, emerges the second African cryptid, the Tokoloshe. Unlike the primordial might of the Grootslang, The Tokoloshe thrives in the mundane and mysterious, lurking in the spaces between human fear and curiosity. Rooted in Zulu mythology, this creature's legend has persisted for generations, feeding on belief and caution. The Tokoloshe's form is as elusive as its nature, often described as a dwarf-like figure barely reaching hip height. Its features are goblin-like, with hair-covered limbs and a sinister countenance that hints at malevolence. A master of concealment, it is said to vanish from sight by swallowing a magical stone or drinking enchanted water. Such abilities render it an almost ghostly presence, blurring the line between myth and reality. This cryptid is no mere trickster. The Tokoloshe embodies both mischief and malice. Stories recount how it delights in causing chaos, from minor pranks to acts of malevolence orchestrated at the behest of those who summon it. Witches and practitioners of dark magic are said to call upon the Tokoloshe to settle scores or wreak havoc, binding it to their will through arcane rituals. Yet in its mischief, it also serves as a scapegoat for unexplained phenomena, a convenient culprit when no other explanation suffices. The Tokoloshe's creation is steeped in grim traditions. Legends tell of its assembly from graveyard soil and pieces of the dead, animated through the insertion of a heated poker or nail into its skull. Other tales suggest it can be fashioned from transformed animals or dolls. Regardless of its origin, the creature's obedience to its master is ensured through these macabre acts. Defending against the Tokoloshe requires ingenuity and spiritual intervention. In rural areas, families elevate their beds with bricks to keep the creature at bay, believing it incapable of climbing. Sangomas, traditional healers, and certain religious figures are often sought to cleanse a home of its presence, using rituals that blend ancient customs with spiritual authority. The Tokoloshe is not merely a phantom of fear, but a mirror to South African society, reflecting the intertwining of superstition, culture, and environment. Some argue that its mythological roots lie in practical warnings, such as caution against the dangers of carbon monoxide poisoning in poorly ventilated huts. Transformed over time into a living legend, its influence extends beyond oral tradition, finding a place in modern literature, film, and media, where it serves as both metaphor and menace. Sightings of the Tokoloshe continue to fuel its mythos. Reports vary, from grainy photographs of strange figures to viral videos purportedly capturing its fleeting presence. In 2013, a widely circulated image depicted a creature with pig-like features. In 2015, a Cape Town security guard claimed to have seen a ghostly figure near a swimming pool. Some accounts even link the Tokoloshe to UFO phenomena, intertwining it with tales of extraterrestrial encounters in southern Africa. The Tokoloshe has left its mark on South African pop culture, appearing in the daily comic strip Madam and Eve as a recurring source of humor. Its influence extends to music, with John Congo's Tokoloshe Man becoming a pop hit later covered by Happy Mondays and included on the Electra compilation album Rubaiyat. The creature also features prominently in the music video for Die Antwoord's song, Evil Boy. They say that in the wilds of South Africa, there's a tree that can kill you with a single breath. This is the Uncle Tree, or Umkbuli, a terrifying entity steeped in the mysticism of Zulu mythology. Far from being an ordinary tree, the Uncle Tree is regarded as a sentient and vengeful being, demanding both reverence and fear. As the third South African cryptid, the Uncle Tree holds a unique place in the pantheon of supernatural legends. Its presence embodies the raw, untamed dangers of the natural world, a stark reminder of humanity's fragile relationship with the environment. The Uncle Tree is described as a gnarled, lifeless-looking figure, with unnaturally green leaves hinting at its sinister nature. The ground around it is cracked and barren, devoid of even the smallest insects, as if cursed by the tree's mere proximity. Those who venture too close are met with a chilling sight: the skeletal remains of humans and animals strewn around its base, a grim warning to all who approach. Some scholars speculate that the Uncle Tree may share a connection with the Euphorbia cupularis, commonly known as the dead man's tree. Found in South Africa and Eswatini, this toxic plant is known for its harmful latex sap that releases an irritating vapor. Historically, Zulu oral traditions recount its toxic properties as a cause of death among warriors. Its role in mythology and traditional medicine further ties it to tales of supernatural dread. Legends tell of the Uncle Tree's deadly properties, which extend beyond its physical presence. It is believed to emit a toxic miasma, an invisible poison that lingers in the air, bringing a swift and agonizing death. This lethal aura is thought to be an extension of the tree's wrath, a natural defense mechanism that ensures its solitude. Intriguingly, the dead man's tree's seedlings are reported to start non-toxic and only become poisonous after sustaining damage, mirroring the Uncle Tree's mythical wrath against those who harm it. To appease the Uncle Tree and avoid its wrath, the Zulu people performed rituals and sacrifices. Animals, often goats, were offered at the tree's base as a gesture of respect and submission. These acts highlight the belief in the tree's supernatural status, marking it as an entity beyond the ordinary. Legends of the Uncle Tree have persisted through the ages. Historical accounts, such as those by Reverend G.W. Parker in 1882, describe a tree fitting the Uncle Tree's description. Parker noted its dual-layered bark and preference for rocky habitats, emphasizing how the land around it remained eerily uninhabited due to superstitions. The story of the Uncle Tree serves as both a cautionary tale and a cultural touchstone. It reminds listeners of the perils of disrespecting the environment and venturing into forbidden territory. The Uncle Tree symbolizes the devastating consequences of failing to respect nature's power. Modern accounts have only deepened the mystery surrounding this cryptid. In 2017, a South African hiker reported an encounter with a tree resembling the Uncle Tree. The hiker experienced intense nausea and a splitting headache after approaching the tree. When they returned with companions, the tree had vanished. In 2020, strange deaths in the KwaZulu-Natal region reignited local rumors about the Uncle Tree. Livestock and small game were found dead near a desolate patch of forest where vegetation had inexplicably withered. Attempts to remove the tree reportedly ended in mysterious accidents, further reinforcing the belief that the Uncle Tree was responsible. They say that in the still of the South African night, there's a terror unlike any other. The Headless Horse, our fourth South African cryptid. It is not a man, nor a beast, but a spectral horse, devoid of its head and teeming with an eerie malice. Those who have crossed its path speak of a relentless pursuer, a supernatural entity that hunts the unwary after dark. The Headless Horse is not merely a phantom, it is a thing of nightmare that acts with purpose. Hoofbeats echo across the empty streets, rhythmic and deliberate, like the ticking of a dreadful clock. Before its appearance, a disembodied voice whispers a chilling warning: "Do not walk here." Those who ignore the warning soon find themselves locked in a terrifying chase. One woman, walking alone after a night out, heard the voice cut through the silence. Turning, she saw it, a hulking, headless figure galloping toward her. She ran, driven by primal fear, and only when she slammed her door shut did the sound of hoofbeats fade. Others tell similar stories: the warnings, the relentless hoofbeats, the chilling presence. Some survivors describe waking in cold sweats, plagued by vivid nightmares of the chase. Not everyone is so fortunate. There are whispers of those who disappeared without a trace, their final moments marked only by the fading echo of hoofbeats. The legend of the Headless Horse is woven deeply into South African folklore. Many believe it to be a manifestation of ancestral spirits, a guardian of the night. In a land where oral traditions carry the weight of centuries, the Headless Horse is both a warning and a punishment. Some speculate that the Headless Horse could be related to the Devil's Horse. A game capturer once said, "If the devil ever rode a horse, it would look like a black wildebeest." Like the Devil's Horse, the Headless Horse embodies chaos and fury. The image of a headless entity is not unique to South Africa, but the Headless Horse's form and behavior set it apart. A headless horse, untethered from a rider, defies explanation and evokes a primal fear. The stories reached their height during the late 1980s, a period marked by social and political upheaval in South Africa. Some suggest the legend mirrored the collective anxieties of the time. Others argue that it is something far older, a remnant of a time when the boundary between the natural and the supernatural was thinner. Skeptics offer mundane explanations, but for those who have heard the voice or felt the thunderous chase, the Headless Horse is real. It is a force of vengeance, a cursed soul, or perhaps an ancient protector. By the early 1990s, the Headless Horse seemed to recede into obscurity. Yet the fear never truly disappeared. Farmers still report finding strange hoofprints, and travelers speak of an unseen presence. The legend endures, whispered in hushed tones, and remembered by those who know the terror of being hunted. For those who find themselves alone in the dark, the Headless Horse remains a stark warning. Some stories may fade, but the fear is eternal. And as long as there are roads shrouded in silence and shadows, the Headless Horse will wait, a chilling reminder that some warnings are not meant to be ignored. In the rugged heart of Gauteng, where mining towns rise like specters from desolate dumps, tales of the Benoni werewolves grip the imagination. These cryptic creatures, woven into folklore, secure their place as the fifth South African cryptid. Sightings surged in the 1980s, a time of heightened apartheid tensions and nights darker than ever. Benoni residents reported howls echoing across the mine dumps, chilling those who ventured too close. By day, the evidence was sparse: trampled earth, claw marks, and strange prints. By night, the stories came alive. Wolf-like creatures taller than any man emerging under the moon, their eyes glowing. Witnesses described them as powerful predators, their black fur blending into the dark. Some saw them on all fours, then rising, towering over men. The air grew heavy, suffocating, bringing primal fear. Survivors spoke of the oppressive silence that followed, sucking the life from the land. In 1985, a resilient grandmother, her daughter and granddaughter were stalked during a midnight walk in the Eastern Cape. Faint starlight barely pierced the darkness. As they crossed a rusted bridge, a chill gripped the grandmother. Footsteps shattered the silence, each one deliberate, drawing closer. A rasping breath, like dry leaves skittering across parched earth, echoed behind them. Sensing the creature, grandmother urged the children onward. The youngest recalled her grandmother's voice, firm yet calm, keeping them moving despite the dread. They felt the creature's presence, its hot breath a constant threat, until it vanished at the town's edge. Conservative Christian communities offered an explanation. The werewolves were results of dark rituals. Pentagrams, black candles, and cryptic symbols fueled suspicions of satanic activity. The Benoni werewolves, blamed for livestock mutilations and disappearances, carried an extra edge of terror. Fear crested when a farmer claimed to have shot one. Adrenaline surged as he raised his rifle, the gun a comfort in his trembling hands. The creature fell with a guttural cry. Dawn revealed not a beast but a man, contorted in death. The story ignited panic, stoking fears that the werewolves were humans cursed to transform. Despite the lack of proof, the stories persisted. In 1987, Benoni Times journalist investigated, reporting eerie howls and a mutilated calf, but no concrete evidence. Many believed the accounts reflected a deeper truth about the region's unsettling history, where fear and mystery intertwined. Some forensic psychologists suggested lycanthropic delusion, a condition where individuals believe they can transform. But the Benoni werewolves were too consistent to dismiss as psychosis. These creatures, whether flesh and blood or something more ethereal, seemed to embody the land's wildness and unresolved tensions. People still venture into the mine dumps, armed with cameras and recorders, hoping to capture the legend. They rarely find anything concrete, but their presence keeps the myth alive, drawing thrill seekers, each seeking an answer. Are the Benoni werewolves figments of imagination, or do they stalk the night, waiting? Beneath the unyielding sun of South Africa's northern Cape, where the Orange River carves its path through ancient rock formations, whispers tell of the Mamlambo, a fearsome deity whose name conjures awe and dread in equal measure. Known as the goddess of beer in some accounts, this creature, also known as Mamlambo, our sixth South African cryptid, is said to reign over the swirling depths of rivers and the tumult of storms. The origins of Mamlambo are shrouded in mystery, with some believing her legend has been passed down for centuries through oral storytelling, while others claim her myth is a more recent creation, emerging in the 20th century. Regardless, Mamlambo's presence in South African folklore continues to captivate imaginations. Descriptions of her vary, but she is consistently depicted as a majestic and awe-inspiring creature. Her sleek, serpentine body shimmers like sunlight on water, and her head, often likened to that of a horse, completes an image both beautiful and fearsome. Estimates of her size range from 10 to 50 feet. Her glimmering scales add an almost hypnotic allure. Legend portrays Mamlambo as both a bringer of fortune and a harbinger of doom. She is said to fiercely protect her territory and the creatures within, attacking those who seek to harm them. Yet, some accounts describe her as a benevolent figure, capable of healing the sick, granting wishes to the pure of heart, and bringing prosperity to those in need. This duality adds to her mystique, as does her reputed ability to transform into a beautiful woman, luring unsuspecting victims to watery graves. Stories of Mamlambo's powers paint a picture of a deity capable of controlling water and summoning storms. Her hypnotic gaze and rumored thirst for blood and brains add a chilling dimension to her mythos. Glowing light often accompanies her nocturnal appearances, casting eerie reflections upon the waters she inhabits, further heightening her mystique. Encounters with Mamlambo are as varied as they are unsettling. Among the most significant modern sightings occurred in 1997 near Mount Aleph in the eastern Cape Province. Multiple witnesses reported seeing a giant reptilian creature in the Mizantlava River, describing it as approximately 20 meters, 65 feet long, with a horse-like head, snake-like neck, and fish-like lower body. Local newspapers, including Johannesburg's The Star and Cape Town's Cape Argus, extensively covered the phenomenon, which captivated public attention. Between January and April of that year, up to 9 deaths were attributed to the creature by locals, further cementing its ominous reputation. Whispers of her presence often come with warnings about the dangers lurking beneath tranquil waters. Some legends recount her lair as a treasure-filled subterranean realm, guarded jealously against intruders. While offerings of precious stones are rumored to sometimes secure freedom, many believe bargaining with Mamlambo is futile. Mamlambo's legend extends into cultural rituals and traditions, where her presence is invoked during ceremonies that honor water and fertility. Offerings of food, grains, and symbolic adornments are made to seek her favor or appease her wrath. Within Zulu ceremonies, Mamlambo embodies the life-giving and destructive forces of water, a duality that resonates deeply with the communities that revere her. Modern interpretations have brought Mamlambo into contemporary media, further solidifying her place as an icon of cultural and supernatural intrigue. Whether portrayed as a majestic guardian or a deadly predator, she continues to inspire awe and curiosity. Mamlambo's story serves as a reminder of humanity's fragile coexistence with the natural world and the mysteries that remain beyond our understanding. Some speculate her legend may be rooted in real creatures, like the southern African rock python or ancient fossils such as Titanoboa. Others view her as a symbolic representation of nature's beauty and danger, her connection to rivers reflecting both life's abundance and its peril. Mamlambo's tale, much like the rivers she inhabits, flows through the landscapes of myth and reality, carrying with it a reflection of the human condition and the awe-inspiring power of the unknown. Whether viewed as a cautionary figure or a guardian of nature's secrets, Mamlambo endures as a symbol of the forces that shape the world around us. In the heart of KwaZulu-Natal, where the Howick Falls thunder into a shadowy abyss, a creature of myth and legend lurks. This is the Inkanyamba, our 7th South African cryptid, a creature of water and storms, its name evoking awe and fear in equal measure. To stand before these falls is to stand before the rumored lair of a legend, a place where the natural world converges with the realm of the supernatural. The Inkanyamba's serpentine body is said to shimmer with an otherworldly sheen as it coils beneath the surface. Its presence is felt in the charged air and the restless waters, the spray from the falls carrying a strange metallic scent. Some claim it bears humps or crests along its back, while others insist it is more eel-like, its immense length undulating through water and over land with an almost hypnotic grace. To see it is to confront a creature that defies comprehension, its enormity a testament to its dominion over its watery realm. Those who have glimpsed it speak of a feeling of primal dread washing over them, a sense of being in the presence of something ancient and powerful. The origins of the Inkanyamba legend stretch back through generations, its name derived from Zulu and Xhosa languages, translating to the one who causes storms, or the one who attracts lightning. Aboriginal cave paintings found throughout the region offer glimpses of its historical significance, their ancient artistry depicting serpentine forms that reflect the stories passed down through time. In the modern era, sightings have only deepened the mystery. Andhalezi Buthelezi, a game ranger, first reported the creature in 1962, igniting a fascination that would endure for decades. Caretaker Johannes Longwane's encounters in 1974 and 1981, where he described hearing the creature's chilling cry, like the screech of a hawk amplified 1,000 times, and restaurant owner Bob Teeny's sighting near the falls in 1995, have only added layers to the Inkanyamba's storied mythos. The Howick Falls, framed by their dramatic cliffs, are not merely a natural wonder, but a focal point of reverence. Visitors often approach with a mixture of curiosity and respect, drawn by the allure of encountering the Inkanyamba, or simply paying homage to the myth that haunts these waters. Its legend has also seeped into the cultural consciousness, inspiring artists to capture its fearsome form in sculptures and paintings, while writers weave its presence into tales that blend the mystical with the tangible. The Inkanyamba is more than just a creature. It's a symbol of the interconnectedness of the Zulu and Xhosa people with the natural world. Its presence is invoked in ceremonies and rituals, where offerings are made to ensure good harvests and protection from floods. Even today, locals whisper prayers to the Inkanyamba before venturing near the falls, a testament to its enduring power. The creature's powers, as described by those who tell its tales, are formidable. Storms rise in its wake, and lightning splits the skies when it stirs. It is a harbinger of both destruction and awe, a manifestation of nature's might and unpredictability. Some accounts speak of its cries, said to summon the tempest and churn the waters into chaos. Its connection to these elemental forces has solidified its reputation as a guardian of its domain, feared yet revered. Modern interpretations of the Inkanyamba have brought it into broader discussions, intertwining its legend with themes of conservation and respect for the environment. Rural communities continue to hold steadfast beliefs in its existence, viewing it as both a protector and a warning of nature's power. Skeptics argue that the Inkanyamba's sightings may have mundane explanations, pointing to the presence of large eels native to the region. Yet these creatures fail to account for the sheer scale and majesty attributed to the legendary serpent. For believers, the Inkanyamba is far more than a misidentified animal. It is a living embodiment of the mysteries that dwell at the intersection of reality and myth. Will you dare to seek out the Inkanyamba in its watery domain, or will you heed the warnings and admire its power from a safe distance? In the sweeping landscapes of South Africa's Eastern Cape, where jagged cliffs meet the vast open sky, dwells our 8th South African cryptid, the Impundulu, the lightning bird. This cryptid wields storms and lightning, its black and white plumage shimmering with an otherworldly sheen, complemented by fiery red accents that add to its fearsome appearance. It conjures lightning with powerful wing beats, cracking the very sky itself. Born from the heart of a thunderstorm, the Impundulu is sometimes described as part of a flock led by a colossal elder, showcasing its intelligence and mystique. Some believe it manifests through the hammerkop, whose peculiar nesting habits and appearance evoke associations with the lightning bird. Damaging its nest invites devastating lightning strikes. Sightings in the Eastern Cape describe a massive black and white bird with unusual features, solidifying its presence in the remote corners of South Africa. Accounts of the Impundulu echo through rural southern Africa. In 1903, an Eastern Cape farmer reported seeing a large, dark bird with glowing red eyes during a violent thunderstorm, followed by a deafening crack as lightning split a nearby tree in two. Decades later, in 1968, villagers in KwaZulu-Natal witnessed a spectacle during a nighttime ceremony. A massive bird with iridescent feathers emitting sparks, its form illuminating the darkness. Even as recently as 2010, a tourist in Zimbabwe reported seeing a large eagle-like bird during a thunderstorm while on safari. The guide, familiar with the legend, whispered, "Could it be the Impundulu?" Intertwined with tales of witchcraft, the Impundulu serves as a familiar, inflicting disease and death on command. Its vampiric nature aligns it with dark magic. If left masterless, it becomes a rogue entity known as Ishologu, wreaking havoc indiscriminately. The Impundulu commands storms, shapeshifts to lure victims, and inflicts deadly ailments. Its eggs laid where lightning strikes bring misfortune. Traditional remedies offer protection, but destroying the Impundulu is nearly impossible. It is impervious to conventional weapons and can only be defeated by fire. The Impundulu remains deeply ingrained in South African culture, symbolizing nature's raw power and humanity's vulnerability. Its legend reflects the delicate balance between humanity and the untamed wild. The Impundulu's thunderous wings and piercing eyes remind us of the boundary between the known and the unknown. Its enduring legacy speaks to its power. Interestingly, it shares similarities with other cryptids, such as the Thunderbird of North American indigenous legends, both embodying the awe-inspiring forces of nature. In the heart of South Africa's Klein Karoo, where arid plains stretch beneath an unforgiving sun and ancient gorges carved through the rugged terrain, tales of the supernatural persist. Among these, the Watermeid, or water ante, stands out. Just outside the town of De Rust lies the famed Meringspoort, a canyon where rock-strewn river pools shimmer in the sunlight. According to local accounts, these pools are home to a dark-haired mermaid, a figure of both beauty and menace. Said to be a manifestation of a sinister water spirit, she lures the unwary to their doom, dragging them to watery graves. This chilling legend, first shared in 1875 by a bushman with a local farmer, has been passed down through generations in the form of cautious warnings and vivid recollections. Adding a layer of intrigue are the ancient Khoisan rock paintings found in the region, depicting what many interpret as mermaids, fish-tailed humanoid figures etched into stone. While some argue these images represent ritualistic depictions of swallows, symbols of rain in San culture, others insist that the San, known for their literal artistic style, were recording actual encounters. The painted figures, often shown holding objects, suggest arms rather than wings, fueling speculation that these were beings the San people truly encountered in the watery landscapes of their time. The connection to water runs deep in the Karoo's history. Over 250 million years ago, this now arid region was submerged beneath an ancient ocean. When the waters receded, they left behind fertile valleys and deep pools, perfect settings for tales of water spirits to take root. These stories, perhaps initially cautionary tales warning of the dangers lurking in deep water, have evolved into a rich narrative of mystery and wonder. The Watermeid continues to captivate in modern times, with sightings reported as recently as late 2024. On December 26, a sighting was reported in the Asilo Zasandulo Reserve, rekindling interest in this elusive creature. Earlier that year, multiple sightings were reported across the Karoo, and the Watermeid was even featured in a popular fishing game and highlighted as a legendary fish. While her legend is ancient, the Watermeid's presence in contemporary culture is undeniable. Outshore tourism actively promotes the Watermeid as part of the region's cultural heritage. Filmmaker Wendy Hardy has produced a documentary and travel guide exploring the legend, and the Watermeid's image even appears on product packaging. The story of the Watermeid gained further traction during the devastating Meringsport floods of 1996. Local accounts claim that the mermaid, swept out to sea, was rescued and brought back to Outshorn to recover. Crowds flocked to the CP Nell Museum, hoping to catch a glimpse of her, only to be met with a mannequin. A clever ploy that did little to quell the intrigue. Adding to the mystique, a local clairvoyant allegedly contacted the Watermeid, revealing her name as Aporia. Whether born from imaginative storytelling or spiritual belief, the tale sparked renewed sightings of water spirits across the region. The Watermeid's reputation is a complex one. Revered as a bringer of rain and sustainer of life in this dry land, she is also feared as a harbinger of floods and disaster. Locals speak of her cautiously, wary of her temperamental nature. Those who disrespect her or her domain, it is said, risk being dragged beneath the surface, never to return. In the rugged wilderness of South Africa's northern Cape, where the Orange River winds through ancient rock formations, tales persist of the Rompo, our 10th South African cryptid. This creature thrives in the shadows of graveyards and forgotten wilderness, feeding on the dead and haunting the living. The Rompo is a grotesque fusion of animal parts: the head of a rabbit with sharp teeth, human-like ears, a skeletal torso, badger-like forelegs, powerful bear-like hind legs, and a long tufted tail. Each element contributes to its unnerving presence. Silent and spectral, the Rompo glides through the night. Its presence is betrayed only by the hypnotic melody it sings when feeding, a song both mournful and mesmerizing, said to lure the unwary closer. Primarily a scavenger of human corpses, the Rompo has earned the grim title of man-eater. Witnesses claim it circles its prey with eerie deliberation before consuming it. While not a traditional predator, it has been known to attack the living when opportunity arises. Deeply entrenched in South African culture, the Rompo symbolizes the intersection of life and death. It is seen as a guardian between the living and the dead, a reminder of mortality, and an omen of disease or misfortune. Others interpret it as a necessary part of nature's cycle. The Rompo's notoriety extends beyond oral traditions. It was mentioned in Thomas Bormann's 1730 work, A Description of 300 Animals, solidifying its place in cryptozoological lore. Folklore offers methods to repel the Rompo: protective symbols on gravestones, offerings to appease spirits, and specific herbs. These practices emphasize respect for the delicate balance it represents. Sightings, though anecdotal, are both chilling and intriguing. In 1874, a farmer near Kimberley reported hearing an eerie melody one moonless night, only to find his livestock mysteriously untouched but visibly distressed the following morning. Another account from 1932 described a gravedigger in the outskirts of Uppington who encountered a silent, spectral figure circling a freshly dug grave, vanishing just before sunrise. More recently, in 1998, hikers in the Richtersveld claimed to hear a haunting, hypnotic song near an abandoned village, accompanied by faint, bear-like tracks in the sand. While physical evidence remains elusive, These consistent tales suggest the Rompo's legend has an enduring grip on the cultural psyche. Some suggest the Rompo legend may have originated from encounters with scavenging animals like hyenas, while others propose it is a symbolic manifestation of humanity's fear of death and the unknown. The Rompo remains a haunting figure in South African folklore, a blend of fear, mystery, and cultural significance. Whether a living cryptid or a product of human imagination, it compels us to confront the shadows of our world and our minds, reminding us of the mysteries that persist. At DeadNet Studios, the stories may conclude, but the unknown remains as vast as the South African horizon. Step lightly in these untamed lands, respect the voices of the past, and never forget, what lies beyond the familiar is closer than you think. In South Africa, the wild holds its truths tightly, and those who tread carelessly may find themselves staring into the eyes of legend. Hambakala, go well, and may the path before you be clear, the stars guide your way, and your spirit remain unshaken. Keep your senses sharp, because out here the land itself is alive with mystery.
In the shadows of the digital night, we wandered far and seen some sights, from haunting tales to eerie lights. DeadNet Studios where fear ignites. So long, farewell from the crimson hollows. We'll be back again with more tales to follow. Keep the lights dimmed and your curiosity high. For in DeadNet's realm, the spirits never die. We've danced with ghosts, chased legends on, through cryptic codes, stories untold. In cyberspace where mysteries unfold, our journey's been daring, brave and bold. So long, farewell from the darkened halls, where shadows whisper and the unknown calls. Keep your eyes wide and your mind astir, for the mysteries of DeadNet are a haunting blur. In the world of strange and the unexplained, we find our stories wildly untamed. With the studio's end, we take a little rest. We find the shackles every day.